Ta-da! So yeah, now we test microphone volume to see if it like kills everyone. Otherwise, we're good. Mako, stand off. Hello, Mako. Yeah, well, like I'll keep talking so you can come to it. Can hear me? Oh, well, that's a plus. Look, look at that. Can you even see the? God, there's a chat bar, chat window, right? Look at that. And I mean, it doesn't have an incredible amount of space, but I can. The screen recording have chat on it, which I think is pretty damn important. No, I never figured out how to make a chatbot with OBS. Not Streamlabs OBS, the Open OBS. I want him to disappear. I think it's good. When we're playing a lot of story-based games, I want people to be able to see what you're saying, but disappearing is not a bad idea. Because then if we do have a quiet scene, or if it is a quiet night, you'll just hear me rambling. There's also no timestamps next to them, and I'm sure that would be something I could configure as well. But I have nothing wrong. I have no issue with them appearing for a short amount of time, disappearing if we don't have timestamps. Otherwise, things could be drastically unrelated. Oh, it's been a good day, to be honest. I took over lunch break. I went over to partner's place and had an excellent coffee and some nice company while I worked for a bit. Just a change of scenery, pretty nice. Good way to get through some stuff. Called a colleague to do a new task that involves like messing with templates, and that's highly specific technical work when you're like making sure every line break is exactly in the right spot, so that when you send someone a letter, an official letter, it looks decent, and so the fonts need to be accurate the whole way across, and updating versions and checking it with all like. I know that sounds like maybe you should get into coding. It's highly specific. You do that, but no. That's a different kind of thing for me. It's much more fun to, I don't know, be working in Word, I guess, is the main question. Um, Not just formatting, but you're also working in language and application I spend a lot of time practicing to write stories in. The funny thing is, Word is actually not a great application to write novels and other large stories. I think if I would have recommended to someone, it'd be like Scrivener, current favorite, writing novels. So much so that once my mum asked me to help her open a particular file that was sent to her by someone, because they sent her their novel that working in progress. So I did the child that is technical job and Googled the file extension and then worked out which application opened it and then got a third party application to open it and exported it as a PDF and then sent it back to mum, because I didn't want to say, okay, mum, you could read this, the first draft of someone's novel that they've sent you, but you're going to need to pay $60 or so to access this application. I might make my mom write memoirs, and that could be interesting. Luxie, no, I'm not publishing yet, for fuck's sake. No, I haven't finished part one, right? The first draft of part one. And like as an update, I guess, that everyone in chat who's trying to keep track of what I'm getting up to, I do have a chat overlay. Well, first, shout out to Mako who's in the chat and had their fantastic return to Twitch Friday last week, and you can catch him in the VOD. You can catch a VOD of it. With her inspiration to be like, hey, you should probably like look at this other application. It's better. Okay, I will. And then I finally did under advice, especially last night. I think the key phrase that made me work was Echo said, you know, if you download Streamlabs OBS instead of OBS, you'll be able to fix your sound program. You'll be able to fix your sound at the same time. So I did. They wouldn't have to fuck with it every single time. And what a surprise. We've got a chat overlay, and if someone follows, we even get a notification window at the very top. Yeah. Ping. Hey, that was me throwing a plastic thing onto a knife that's on the table. Sorry. I do have a noise gate on, but it is kind of twitchy so that you get my random sounds. You'll also notice that I've turned off NVIDIA RTX because last Wednesday we noticed that like I finally listened to a clip of myself, right? Because that's difficult. I finally got around to it. Listened to a clip of myself, and I heard the lisp, the artificial lisp, and I thought, oh my god. Every other time I listened to it, I thought, oh, that was just me. I am tired, or I am drunk. Not drunk. It was in fact my fault. But this most recent clip, I listened to it and I thought, holy shit, it's there. I sound really drunk. What is going on? And then I thought, okay, well, it's very artificial, very electronic. I'm going to blame the AI first. Gave that a go, turned it off, recorded myself, listened to it back. It was obvious and very apparent that that's where the problem was. So I complained about it on Twitter and Discord, and then removed it forcibly from my hard drive, and now my sound quality is better. And it's funny because sound quality is what I hear people complaining about all the time, and I don't often hear the difference between very fancy microphones and not, even though I love music so much. Buy fancy headphones. Especially when, like for example, Noah Caldwell Givey and his YouTube channel often gets comments that say your sound quality is awful, and I don't understand. He also doesn't understand because people generally aren't specific, at least in comments, especially on YouTube videos, about what in the sound quality isn't working for people. Background sound, is it being an air conditioner? Is it the occasional click at the end of a paragraph? That's how Noah records. Noah does multiple takes, so he gets the best take out of it. But then at the end, you can hear him click as he ends the recording and doesn't moving that. And I think that's nice. That's like a beautiful affectation rather than a sad one. And yeah, Luxy, I guess you got a good point. People can't put their finger on exactly what is wrong. It just doesn't sound as good. I mean, this isn't a professional microphone, right? Not on a stand. If I whack the side of my headset, you can hear it go thump. But so when people said, "Yeah, you sound a little drunk," I thought, well, I guess I was tired. But I finally noticed it and removed it. I guess you'll have to deal with the small, low-level hum of my computer in the background. I mean, it didn't stop the cat from yelling. Probably get slightly more typing sounds. That's all. But I figured if we could turn it into an improvement sort of stream, odds, we by adding chat, might as well do it. It's weird for an. Yeah, see, Luxy's got a good one there. Everyone thought, oh, that sounds weird. Is maybe Jimbles just has a lisp? I haven't seen him in person in a while. It is COVID times. That's not. That just wasn't the case. It was the word "put." And that isn't. It was false for misogyny, and I think that's fair. So, yeah. But no, I don't have a lisp. I slur when not paying attention. But when I'm broadcasting, recording a podcast, reading something out loud on Twitch, I'm putting more effort into speaking. So, well, yeah. So, cheers. And Hendo, I'm glad that everyone in the VODs can see the chat. Adds a little more context. I think I'm going to click the live stream button. On over a bit. Here we have. Open up game. We've got game music in the background. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to poke our companions to see if we can hear them properly and whether it's the appropriate sound. They may be a little bit quiet, it may be a little bit loud. I want to make sure it's appropriate. We'll have to do the same on Wednesday night this week as well, because different games, different audience. Moment of panic where I was like, oh god, I'll need my controller. I was thinking about Final Fantasy and killers. Okay.
Yes? I shall.
It's pretty loud.
Ready, Watcher.
Yeah, alright. Glad to hear it, Loxy.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Right here.
A little quiet to me. That's actually a good like adjustment. It's not a bad thing to have the game sounds a bit quieter. We'll also get into combat and see if the combat sounds are louder as well. But otherwise, if you can hear the game, you can hear me. To go. The robot-y nature devil. She echoes. There's an echo because her voice is coming from her chest.
Right,
it's from her chest as well, and it's echoing in metal as opposed to like flesh, which is that's some good sound design. I don't know how I forgot that the indie game Inside had most of its sounds recorded inside a human skull.
If you say so.
Deceased human skull, thankfully. Alright. Here we go. We've got some combat music, and we're going to have some swings. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, what do you think? Okay? And Hendo, look, I'm serious. It absolutely was. There is a quick shot on Twitter that... Oh, look at that Forge Guardian. That's cool as. And we're going to kill it, because it's clearly dangerous. The George Guardian! Oh, I like that. Jeez, Adair. He got smacked by the Magma Blight pretty hard. Let's use Devil to get in closer. Pull out some magic. Oof.
Your thoughts must...
So, I know it's completely excessive, but it kind of fits the mood of the game to have the sound recorded inside a skull. Hendo, you absolutely could. You just need to find someone who wants to do the same thing, because there's no centralized collection point for human skulls to be used in sound recording. Are you set on video games, or would you do it for any sound recording that needs to be recorded inside a skull? Probably bad enough that I'm not an organ donor yet.
If you say so. That'll do.
Could legit include it in your
I'll
will,
see what
yeah.
I can find.
Yeah, so always sign up. You're lucky. You've got a very good point. I absolutely should. The problem is, I need to go into a shop front first, because I cannot link Medicare to MyGov. Health. And I know from someone very cute and very important that the process likely isn't fault, but I do need some manual inspection intervention by someone in an ACT shopfront or a government shopfront to get a linking code so I can link the two of them together. And then I can sign up online. But until I do that, can't. Which also is a stepping stone to getting my vaccination certificate, so fuck, I'd better hurry up. This note is written in a script. The lever for the artillery lift has been broken again. Been telling Momentum to be as careful as possible while using the lift, but it's difficult to keep your balance on the thing. One bad bump nearly sent a handful of them off the ledge, and I'd rather they break a lever to keep their balance. Unfortunately, it was a clean break this time. Need this lever as soon as possible. scrawled across the bottom in thick ink. Additional note: if your men stop taking up so much ammunition at a time, this wouldn't be a problem. This will be the last lever you ever get. Next time you're just getting a rammer. Interesting. The cannons are cold as ice and band by angular patterns in Abaddon. Lever. Some
If
trap,
you say
get a
so.
lever.
Got it done.
Beep.
Wait. Seal this. Me too.
The default mod action for allowing a word in chat is actually allowing the word itself,
That's not very helpful.
not
Gotcha.
like allowing it this time. I know there's likely a command to do it, but it's just the one that says click this button. In the end, I think put is fine, even if it is potentially short for puta.
Seal this. Me too.
What was this? Peer through the hole and see a wide, sturdy parapet right side. Several feet along, you also see a broad crack. There's the lead to another room. Not yet. Still soon. Open helm. Worth a little, doesn't need to add much. Might as well
Keeping an
loot
eye
it.
out. Or dear, I know you want your sword, you want your shield back so bad. Maybe that's why. I think we may have identified defensive. No, that's good. Just don't want him to chase enemies. Her rests. Still good. What I was supposed to do and then failed to was do a quick search to see where I can get the next part of the riddle for Adair's sword to not only make it more powerful, but potentially remove the goddamn curse. Yes?
Adair, look out!
And get him. Yeah, I know it's friendly. Heloth killed a moon spiderling! Why are we so excited? Just as a refresher, he needs to kill another 14 enemies. I don't think that's gonna happen. We're gonna try though. Those little spiderlings is not a bad idea.
That'll do.
Not falling for it this time, Kibble. So I got a message from Kibble that was like, Final Fantasy on a Monday, which is the opposite because on Wednesday I had pillars as it went up. But Streamlabs OBS, I'm not being paid for them, for this advertisement. Actually, it has a step that's like, hey, this is what your info is going to be like when you go live. And so I changed it from Final Fantasy for the third time and made sure it actually said pillars. Who knew a creature as disgusting as a disease pudding could be so useful? Their ability to not only prevent metals from rusting, but to remove rust entirely is astounding. I can only imagine what sorts of contraptions we can devise without having to worry about exposing iron to the elements. As always, I get ahead of myself. Finding these creatures is already. Keeping them properly contained is nearly impossible. I was lucky to acquire what few. Yeah, oozes can be pretty neat, dude.
If you say so.
Don't forget there used to be people. Probably not in pillars. Targrin Rust Dissolver. Small label on the side reads property of Aethorial for use on rusted materials. That's an ooze, baby.
Yellow gelatinous residue lines the bottom of the tube. That ooze, so oozy. Okay, Adair has 1 hit point and he's maimed. He will die if he takes a hit. We're taking a nap. I don't strictly know what knocked his health so goddamn low. We're not going to risk it. He is our lovely Adair. Still it. Several feet along the wall, you also see a broad crack. It appears to lead to another room. Look down. Wind whistles by your ears. Peaks of the White March rise below you and continue into the distance. Send someone down onto the ledge. Who will go? Send Adair, baby! He's got the highest athletics. It's just a good idea. Adair sidles across the ledge. Adair reaches the crack in the wall. Precious eye-watering vapor seeps from within. Use a hammer and chisel to wipe. It's slow, tedious work, and by the time it's finished, exhaustion has crept through Adair's body. The ancient masonry crumbles away, and a stinking vapor rushes through the breach. Adair holds a breath and clings to the wall as the rest of the gap escapes. Constitution 16. I'm not certain what would have happened if he didn't pass that check. Probably he'd breathe in a bit, pass that, and fall down and die. He said, into the room through the widened crack. Party continues into
Quethe.
a disease pudding.
How may I help?
My mind feels sharp as steel.
That wasn't so bad. Oh, thanks, Loxy. I'm not gonna click that
Go
link.
for some shut-eye about now.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get it. You just had a nap. Pile of cogs. Special cog. Coated with a thick layer of yellow slime. As far as we can tell,
Alright, then.
like using the yellow slime would
Me too.
remove rust from the other cog teeth that touch it. These cannons are encrusted with thick, pungent slime.
Of course.
We could probably open this door. Hilariously, we unlocked that door as we walked past. We didn't have to do all this. Fun though, right? Narration voice. Like, better quality narration voice. Oh, do it! The target was killed before the spell went off.
Shut him up.
Dead on.
That's interesting. Actually want to do that. Get some neat cold damage slam, very good.
Quethe.
My mind feels sharp.
Very cool. I think Adair was hanging from the side of the cliff, right? And if you fell, you'd have to be caught by someone else. It's a guy who's got good athletics, but she wasn't sent down specifically. So, could have been risky.
Good thing I'm freshly greased.
Urging survivor of Perception 4. That's a very good cloak. Hey, Slam.
Yeah?
I didn't intend that, but that's very good. Hey, Slam. Yeah? What cloak are you wearing? A neck piece, you've got chant area of effect bonus. Oh, 20% extra chant area of effect is very good. What else is giving you perception? Your current perception bonus is 1. Slam, my dude, have I got something for you. You're going to have a cloak. It's going to give you extra survival, defense against poison, and more perception, which means I think we can also replace your hat. Cannot hide.
No, we are. I'm gonna replace your hat. I am sad to say I don't have a better hat for you. So I perhaps rate Bloods Fire. Great multiplier. Nothing on gravy. Might 3. Well, the Might 3 might be useful, but it's not that useful. Work of surviving trapped rooms, exactly.
Of course.
Well, we'll keep an eye out when we're talking to shopkeepers. If any of them have any sweet hats, we're essentially looking for a better one for Slim Shadows. I don't spend too much time optimizing builds and equipment, and that's why we're playing on an easy difficulty.
Leave it to me.
Look at these Skulldrack, like the life cycle's fascinating.
Leave it to me.
The young ones, darling with the young ones, are flying, and as they get older, they develop legs.
Love.
I wish you no harm.
Just
How
chilling.
may I?
You're in a checkpoint. There you go. Nice. They give such little experience too.
I could go for some shut-eye about now.
I know, dear. Artillery lift notice. The artillery lift will be closed until further notice. The cogs are rusting, and any failure in the mechanism could be catastrophic. Version Master Endrin is looking into patinating the cogs to make them weatherproof. Radner's scolder ears. The map shows the peaks and the passes surrounding Durgan's battery.
course.
Faded red circles marked. Location discovered. Dwarf archive. Okay, so let's make our own checkpoint.
Me too.
Or we'll give up on the idea fairly quickly because I want to cast spells on enemies. I want to go magic missile. Actually pretty wounded, so let's send everyone away and go, Eyeless, it's time for your fight club. Hey, did you see that? Look at that. Am I not a real streamer now? Thanks for joining the crew, Aussie Salvage Squad.
Of course.
There we
Of
go.
course.
Good job, Eyeless. Dwarven Tomb. Add it to your collection, buddy. Nothing new. Alright, well, worth a try. Let's go indeed. Next step is to actually mess with those notifications and customize them a bit. But we were running out of time and I was supposed to do actual work. At work. Instead of just getting paid. On the treatment and preservation of cannons. This page seems to be from some larger text. We now have a treatment to prevent our prized cannons from rusting outside. Potion Master Endrin developed a solution that seals the metal, protecting it from air. We've transformed the old armory into a patination chamber where we can heat the solution into a gas. As the gas diffuses the chamber, it will build up a hard coating on the cannons. After a few weeks, the cannons will be ready for the elements. However, we must be careful around the solution. One of Endrin's assistants scalded her throat just from breathing too close to the stove. The rest of the manuscript is they're really pile. Cannon range key. We picked that lock. Actual work. It's not a bad idea. I do like my job. Which is a plus, because I've been through not liking my job and it was bad. They're really making it quite... There's a lot of bits of like lore snippets, right? It's
we built together exactly what's happening with the cannons. We had an idea on how to fix them and what they were.
My people stick to the tundra for a good reason.
After like 1 or 2 notes, and we've got 3 or 4 to explain what happens. Now we'll have the actual puzzle, and we probably know the solution already. Let's figure it out. Chain is so rusted, it barely moves. Okay, well, we probably apply the rust dissolver to see how it goes. What's this? Gearbox looks strangely empty, like it's missing a cog. Upon closer inspection, you see a thin layer of yellow slime coating the gearbox. Okay, put the cog in there. About this one.
Hey.
This slot looks like it's missing a lever. Fit a torch, fit a pry bar, and fit the replacement lever into the slot.
Of course.
This isn't so much a puzzle as like, put the thing in the thing. Mechanism looks ready to run. Click the buttons. You pour the contents of the vial onto the chain. The solvent hisses and dribbles down, melting the rust into a slick brown puddle. The heavy chain squeaks with movement. Then, we could use any of these, but we have the replacement lever. With a little maneuvering, it clicks into place. The lever protrudes from the slot. Pull the lever! Without the lispinator, lever sounds more like lever and more like hilarious. The lift at last shudders into motion, lifting you towards the clouds. And up we go. That's pretty good. That's not a very good puzzle design. Honestly, that puzzle... That's good sound design, though. That puzzle is a lot more interesting in a tabletop, right? Because if we were to use this in your, like... in your tabletop game, which is the thing we do here in this channel a lot, right? We talk about tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Dungeon World, although I don't suggest it, Blades in the Dark, and Stone Top, which is coming out soon and I'm still very excited for. Honestly, that puzzle is a lot more interesting because the more imaginative your party is, the harder that puzzle is, right? And they're like, you could hand them the physical notes. They're like, here's what's written on the note. Do they read it? Probably. Do they ignore it? Maybe not. How else are they going to remove the rust? Do they set up an electrolysis bay? Because one of your players is an engineer and can't let that go? Maybe. Is that a better solution than you picked up rust remover item, use item on item? Right? That's cool as hell. Being a computer game, it can't have open-ended puzzles. You can have like a couple of solutions, and that makes it feel open-ended. But in a tabletop, you can. The lift makes slow, jouncing progress. It lurches every few feet to the rusted chains groaning. It comes to a trembling stop, and the entire platform swings precariously. A sharp metallic odor emanates from one of the winches. They're screeching. First you think it's coming from the winch, but then you realize it's coming from above. An enormous skull-drac swoops from the shadows. You feel the air from its passage as it whooshes past you, but before you can catch more than a glimpse, it's circling back, searching for you with ear-splitting shrieks. Rustling wings and heavy musk alert you to the presence of more than the beasts. As they close, the platform continues to sway and bounce. Stand, scatter to the edges, or send someone to fix. Hey, chat, I haven't set up the pulse system yet because that looked complicated, but instead, time for you to make your first vote of the night. 34 minutes in, let's go. 1, 4, make a stand in the center of the platform. 2, scatter to the edges of the platform and brace for an attack. Or 3, send someone to fix the winch. I don't think I can do polls until affiliate? Well, cheers to Aussie Salvage Squad for getting me ever closer to that elusive goal. But it's like 4 or more follows until we get there. Corey went to an effort and spooked my channel last Wednesday's stream, so that was pretty good. You can do the same so you can get me over the line, and then we'll do actual polls. But until then, you're limited to putting 1, 2, or 3 in the chat for what we're going to do. That is, make a stand in the center of the platform, scatter to the edges of the platform, and brace for an attack, or send someone to fix the winch. Now, sending someone to fix the winch, pretty damn sure the game will immediately ask us who. I won't actually ask chat because I'm going to send the Devil of Karok because the Devil's got very high mechanics, and that's exactly what we'll need. One is bad because it's stuck. Yeah. It also may just like start a combat scenario, and if we start a combat because we're playing on easy, high level, we'll just beat up the Skulldrakes and we'll survive. Two scatters us, gives us move to retreat. That's true. One vote for one vote for three. We need a tiebreaker. Oxy, you make a choice or I'll make it for you. Where do you retreat though? Not sure the two is any better than one. Yeah. But it does also have like bracing for the attack. That's pretty useful. We're bracing. Gotta go three. Alright, three it is. Send someone to fix the winch. Smoke rises from a rattling, grinding winch. Repairing it will be a chore. In addition, the Skulldrak sweep through the air above the platform, their ears swiveling and twitching as they listen. Who will go? Send Devil of Karok. Head low, the Devil of Karok darts towards the winch on quick, silent feet. Stealth 8. Corvus, nice to see you tonight. Interesting enough, I didn't expect a stealth check, but with 8 stealth, Devil of Karok is happy to take it. Devil of Karok reaches the winch and sets to work on the jammed, rusted cogs within. The problem isn't as simple as Devil of Karok hoped. You see the solution in the snarled metal, but Devil of Karok will need a minute to fix it. The Skulldrak overhead are growing wilder. 8 is good. Yeah, that wasn't a roll. A lot of the time, it's a do is your skill high enough? Does it reach this number? If yes, then have the option, or good thing happen. 2 votes for 1. I agree on this one. Choice number 1 is continue fixing the winch, and choice number 2 is prepare to defend against the Skulldrak. Skill check rather than roll is a good way of doing it. With Dungeons and Dragons, essentially adding the dice roll and calling that component the check as well is good. That's why the common understanding of a check is a roll. But in Pillars, it does seem like they don't want to add randomness in that way. A lot of people say, think about that when you're making your role-playing game, whether you're making a choice to create or play. Do you want the randomness to have everyone watch like the dice roll and be tense by the solution and add that randomness? 3 votes for 1, I think that's pretty good. We're going to hit 1. Or do you want the feeling of surety so that when your character is good at something, they're good at something and are unlikely to fail at something they're good at? Largest Skulldrak dives for the middle of the lift. It screeches turn to hisses as it spews sizzling acid across the platform. Skulls you. Screams. A ring. Your own scream rings in your ears and you smell burnt. The smaller Skulldrak zip past in tighter and tighter circles as they close. Meanwhile, the largest of the bunch is wheeling back, preparing for another attack. Within moments, Devil of Karok has cleared the jam. Devil of Karok rushes back to the lever. Never. Just then, large Skulldrak swoops overhead and it spews acid. It misses Devil of Karok, but catches you and the rest of the platform in the spray. Devil of Karok yanks. Never. Chains rattle and clink and the platform starts to move. Skulldrak scatter. As the lift resumes its climb, the startled Skulldrak retreat back into the shadows. Hello, Captain. Wow, wow. Platform rises from the tower and you feel a cold wind on your face. Just want to continue. Wow, wow. Good kitty. Probably wants to sit on my computer now. So, what happened there? We got severe wound and a severe burn for a lot of people. Devil of Karok is fine. Wow, wow. Oh, taxes collected. Ugh. But we also got Place of Great Silence at it. Let's read this. 5% experience, inward-looking chime, and some copper. 5 years ago, 12 senior monks of the Shlokchi
Ichlochi, I guess, began a silent pilgrimage into Tetlaquatan, the forbidding hills plagued by severe weather that locals believe are cursed by the gods. The monks were supposed to emerge from their retreat this year, but they have not returned. An expedition of novices into the area discovered their camp, but they were shocked to find only hollow skin shells of their masters sitting in a circle, frozen in their meditative poses. The inner circle of their Ichlochi. It's a you're right. Ishtloki. Oh, that's much easier, yeah. Ishtlochi theorized that the masters have transcended their previous physical forms and may be wandering the reach. They've sent word to the various lords in Raid Saris and the dear word that the Ishtlochi would very much like to be reunited with their masters, so their wisdom could be passed on to a generation. Maybe. Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's weird. I wish it was easier to pronounce. That's bullshit. I wish I spent more time practicing to get that right. X is the Cherte. Ishlochi. Ishlochi. That's easier, see? I'm gonna send Zawa, because of course I'm gonna send Zawa.
Of course.
Oh, I remember this. Sweet. It didn't matter. Ready the cannons. Oh! Gotta get some revenge on some Elder Skulldrax, is that right? We're quite wounded. I think we're gonna go in and do it anyway, because it's funny. But let's also do a quick save, just in case. What's wrong with that? Now, remember, our favorite tactic, because it's very funny, is to shoot a fireball at people. Because it has time to go off twice. Some cheddar spells, please. Gotta remember to put Slam closer into allies because he no longer has the 20% increased distance. And that 20% increased distance was making sure his like heal that just went off whenever he was chanting anything would hit everyone. They're in for a walloping.
Let's go!
Yeah, good job. You guys could go around a long way. You don't have to. Sakani is doing amazing damage.
Go for some shut-eye about now.
Soon it is. A new hat. Oh. Did anyone else think that was a hat? Because I got really excited about it being a cool Dragon Maul hat, and it is a Dragon Maul shield. Combines with Fighter and Barbarian. That's a good fucking shield too. That's going on Adair as soon as he can use another weapon.
Hey.
Engravings depict the Pargrinen's journey into the light. This cannon is frozen.
All right then.
Face goes on face. That a lot of snow. Through the gap, you see winding stairs in the more. Love me some cannons. Well, we gotta poke the thing. Jeez, I have no idea why it lit up. As you turn the wheel and a gust. You turn the wheel, and a gust of steam blasts you in the face. You stagger back and fall, spiraling towards smoke and flame. Find solid ground beneath your feet, even as the air around you is a haze of smoke and heat shimmer. Coughing, you bat acrid fumes away from your face. As you acclimate to the soot-choked air, you see flames leap
Each flare bathes you with warmth, even as you struggle to pick out the details of this place. About it seems surrounding. You can see little through the thick smoke, but the dancing flames illuminate the dragon's head casting stone. It's the White Forge. As you start toward it, something massive comes crashing down in front of you. You leap back at the sound of metal slamming into metal and feel a deep tone ring through the thick air. Covering your bearings, you find yourself looking at its hair. Dark and shiny. You see every bone, muscle, and tendon work in harmony with the hand's owner is hidden behind clouds of smoke, but the hand itself is wrapped around a pole as thick and sturdy as a tree trunk. The arm. You try to follow the arm to its owner, but the heat and smoke overwhelm you. You turn back. Continue onward to see what lies at the other end of the pole. What's responsible for the clangorous music, just as the hand. The audio cutting out for anyone else. Oh man. Well, apparently yes. It's choppy for everyone. I don't know why. Game audio or my audio or both. Oh, yeah, I know what it is. My dramatic voice is not loud enough, so we're not hitting the noise. We're not hitting the noise gate appropriately. That is untenable. I'm sorry to. Okay, yeah, that should be better. I adjusted the noise gate. I'm sorry about that. But we need my overdramatic recitation of the box text because that's why we're here playing these games instead of like Counter-Strike. Swings back down in a perfect arc. A tower of metal smashes down ahead of you, raining sparks and glints of essence as another deep ring noise sounds. You realize that you're looking at an enormous hammer. The head glows with heat and essence through the purple, though the purple luster fades as soul energy is sucked from the hammer and into the work under it. Inspect the hammer. Closer look at the work. Yeah, it's true. The background noise is like, it's the clicks, it's the microphone picking up my computer. Emma and Captain, absolutely good. Like, I tested earlier, we would get Emma's voice no matter what. Same way we get it whenever I'm on Discord with someone. Okay, let's inspect the hammer. It's a block of black steel, as dark as a starless night and shiny enough that you can see your reflection in it. It's a work of art itself, a simple study of simple yet perfect design. Get a closer look at the work. As the hammer rises once more, you dart forward to see what lies beneath it. The previous setup didn't have a noise gate. I couldn't be bothered making OBS work. Now I put one in. The hammer rises once more, you dart forward to see what lies beneath it. Come on, Slime Shadows, you'll be fine. Lone figure sprawls on an expanse of steel as smooth and broad as lake ice. The figure itself is an enormous, a meg-folk of twisted flesh and metal. Its arms end in two spiked clubs, and its head is a blunt, eyeless edge. It opens its mouth and keens. The desperation in that voice reminds you of a newborn's fear and confusion. Air rushes at your back. You look up and see the hammer, its head once more glowing with essence, speeding toward you. You awaken to the sensation of warm tiles beneath your face. You're prone before the boiler, which drones on, pushing heat through the tower floor. But in the vapor that pulses from the boiler and pipes, you smell the fume of the forge. Slime Shadow gets
I can
slammed.
almost feel one of my toes again. Hey.
Slam Shadows get slammed. Okay. I do not expect everyone to pay as much attention to the settings as I have because, like, you know, I've played this game multiple times and I quite like it. From here, you can access any level within the battery. Where would you like to go? Front gates. We're going to turn in the quest. So who was that? Abaddon.
clearly, God of the Forge, right? Absolutely makes sense. Work of art, smithing, hot, can't see their face due to flame and shadow and steam. Abaddon. Why is that important? Well, we were told about, like at the very end of the White March Part 1, they said the Eyeless are coming. And we just saw one in person. And we saw that it was forged by Abaddon. Right? So those are breadcrumbs of story and figuring out what the fuck's going on here, but now we know a little bit more. Hey, Wingra.
That was incredible! Whole Forge spit flames when you did whatever you did. And the smoke! Ha! I saw it from here.
Hell yeah.
And now to see about these cannons.
She rubs her hands together. She starts for the door, but then she remembers something.
This is for you. Found it while we were cleaning out the battery.
Thanks, Wingra. Now, how do these cannons work?
If only I could show you.
She frowns.
But everyone else is all worried about accidents and injuries. So they've said I can't fire them until there's a real need.
Farewell.
Headed up the tower. Gonna make those cannons shine.
She skips towards the door. She's cool, right? That's real cool. I don't strictly what the fuck she's up to, right? A little weird. Wowee, mister! I saw the fire and everything. Hello, Captain. RLT2. Large strict pots and dirty cups are stacked next to a note. I cook, you wash. Edit filter. Threshold. Even if it fucks up again, I'm just yeah, fuck it. I'm moving the gate. Jimbles all. The right call. How dare you? How dare you be correct? Alright, filter removed. You're gonna hear everything. Microphone always open. I don't think there was anything new in here we needed to see. Why did I come back in here again? It's because Jimbles always mumbles. And Captain is settled as well, so he'll do some... Yeah, we did go through here. We've looted everything. Let's get the fuck out. Corvus, I feel like you've whacked me with a rolled up newspaper or something. Jimbles always mumbles. Enunciate! Whap! I'm like, jeez. Fine, fuck. Flop. Hilarious, though. That's a good tip. See that? If you have difficulty distinguishing between the default green and red colors used for allies and enemies in the game, you can enable colorblind mode. Colorblind mode is like the most... I think is one of the easiest things to add to your game for accessibility that you must do, and there's so many more steps you can do that's even better. You gotta do at least that. Come on. Sorry, not sorry. Well, do what you can, right? Maybe I'll get away with something worse. Let's check our quests. Assassin at large. We'll deal with that later. Iron Flail, Forgotten Army. Investigate the fort. I guess we just gotta go there, huh? Place the hammer at the shrine of Abaddon and Crucible Keep in first fires. We'll do that later. Grey Sleeper. Seek the whirling agent made of copper, adder, and stone. Awaken awaken first your essence so that you may atone. Nope. Nope. Right. Well, let's go see the Iron Flail, right? You want to do some art design there? Want to make a name tag with that on it? Good thing you got a shiny new laptop that you're going to install Photoshop on, right? Iron Flail Fort. Hello, friends. I don't know if I even want the Jim Mumbles name tag, but I think if you're going to do it, it'll be very funny. So you should. Right?
Starting to miss my neighbors.
Let's take a nap. You were literally going to add now that I can open Photoshop. Well, Grader, an animate says request an audience with you. I'm busy. How long do I have? 8 days. I'm going to try and remember to see you in 8 days. I love that I have added a chat overlay, so now you forever in the VOD you can see how you've made me look ridiculous. You can't be serious. We didn't get a you have been caught stealing. It just straight up you look at the Iron Flail, they see you, they start a fight. That's absurd. The 4 days visitor, Mako, we don't actually need to talk to them, it's just Lord Sidrock is here. If you talk to him, he's like, hi, and that's it.
Hey.
Occasionally they add a bonus. Not terrible. Hey, it's like worth it. Oh, Warlock, by yourself. Bye. Stab, stab. Problem solved. Yeah, okay. Glad to see it. Thanks, Corey. I'm glad you like it as well. What's in this? It's got slam selected, so... I'm probably going to get a, you can't do this in combat. What's wrong with you? Nope, cool. Those are all neat spells. That's pretty neat, Larksy. I'm fairly sure, though I'm not certain, the transfer of stuff from one laptop to another, or one device to another, is really good. More spies. I'm just trying to say hi. We're going to get one of these moments where you go talk to the person in charge, and they'll be like, you killed all my people. I'm like, well, it's not honestly my fault. I wanted to come say hi, and this happened. Oh no! Sorry, Bears. Get her. Come on.
Ready, Watcher. Got an arrow for this one.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah. As Pops is saying, the transfer from device to device is really good. Bronze Ebon and Statuette. Neat. Is really good with Apple devices. I know moving from one iPhone to another iPhone and upgrading is really simple. You put them next to each other, they'll transfer all of your junk, all of your crap, all of your bits, all of your wigglies. Right, now we're spying, right? I don't know why that's revealed, but it is. And it just transfers across really easily. I wouldn't be surprised if it
Here, I brought you a scarf.
Oh. Thanks, Mariel.
Fresh grave. Raid Saren Prayer. Okay, they are from Raid Ceres, yeah. The Priest of Aethys encourage Raid Saren to pray to Aethys while holding the charms between their fingers. Oh, that's good world building. Let's just loot this corpse. I can explain. Wait, who are you? You're that lord from Cadnua, aren't you? The woman's cheeks are rosy with embarrassment. What are you doing here? What are you two up to? Too cold to get up to anything. Young people have no imagination these days. Sagani, you're the best. Stealing some time away is all. No harm in that, is there? You here with that army? No, we're just villagers. You're well armed, considering. He squirms. Please, just keep it down. Alec may be asleep on duty, but he's not the only one around. Do you know anything about the delegates from Stalwart?
Just the obvious. They didn't do a good job of negotiating. The commander's been in a fury for the past week. It's not like him. What can you tell me about the commander? The commander? His eyes brighten. He pulled the Iron Flail together himself. He's a good man. He believes in Raid Ceres more than anyone. He gave us our pride back, told us to keep faith. Sometimes I think the Vigilance speaks through him. Careful, he'll go on for hours if you let him. I need to speak to the commander. Can't help you. I don't just mean that they'd string me up for it. If you'd come before the delegates arrived, you might have had a chance. Hey, Sophima, thanks for following. As it is, it looks like we're in for a fight. The commander's not taking any risks. I'm, not supposed to be out here. Makes 3 of us, right? Alright, I'm getting out of here. Take care. No, where were we? Alright, you crazy kids. Like its neighbours, this gravestone holds only a hastily scratched name.
I'll take a look.
Alright, you crazy kids, you have a good time together. That's it. I'm sorry for killing people you probably knew because they attacked me on sight. Katsura, nice to see you as well. I'm getting several people. I'm with Sagani. If it's cold outside, there is a good way to get warm, and it involves physical closeness, something you probably should be doing anyway. Now, I did say just a moment ago that they attacked us first, but we're going to make a hilarious decision to cast Chain Lightning on them because it's funny.
Be on seek.
There we go. Luxie, you've got a good point. That's honestly the worst part of summer for me. Very bad. Oh, war doggos! Man. Luckily, I am blessed with a house that actually has an energy efficiency rating of more than negative 400. Or something exaggerated like that, right? So my house doesn't overheat so quickly. And now I am less put off during that period of the year. Huzzah!
Of course.
Let's continue
They
sneaking.
shall see
Sneaky
nothing
sneak.
while I see much.
Raska, Ator. Don't go far.
Oh
Leave it to
god!
me.
Those are probably the doggo's names.
My bow's ready.
I know it's cheap, but it works. The whole time I'm just thinking, those poor doggos.
Hey,
All you did was give him names, and I immediately feel bad.
Right here.
I feel bad because the AI stopped for a bit and everyone was just waiting for Adair to deal the final blow. I think Grieving Mother was in Malay as well. So more spies. No, I assure you. I just gently moved Devil of Karok, and she dealt an incredible amount of damage to knock him straight down. Very funny.
hey.
Alright, let's keep going.
Hey.
Those prayer beads that we picked up, I quite like that as a set of world building. Remember, Raid Ceres is supposed to be a theocracy, in that it was at one point managed by an incarnation of the divinity that they that they followed. And then he spent a bit of time like walking to the capital and then sitting, kicking out the governor because they were a colony. Kick out the governor of the colony and like, right, well, is a theocracy morally different when the person running the theocracy is actually the center of worship? I think that just makes it a cult, doesn't it? It would. It just makes it a cult. Except, is any extra legitimacy given to a theocracy or an organization if you've proven the divinity of the person in charge?
kind of hope that Paizo does an adventure path that interacts with the Rasmirian priest, because that's a decent theocratic question you could raise. Because Rasmir being a false divinity. On Galarian, that would be worth investigating. Oh well. We're not on that setting right now. We're here. The soldiers watch you warily as you approach. Once you're within speaking distance, one of them gestures with his pistol. That's far enough. What are you doing here? You lost? I meant to ask you the same thing. The Iron Flail's here under the command of Adirak Sendemir, and you're trespassing. I have to speak with Adaric. The commander's not receiving any more visitors. He looks you over, frowning. Did Stalwart send you? I came here of my own accord. You want to pick a side, and soon? Anyhow, Adaric wants nothing more to do with messengers or diplomats. You're too late. Darren said that Adaric came here because he had a vision. Then this Darren, at least, speaks the truth. Loxy, mean. Had me twitchy for a second. Now, I want a cookie. Adaric said there will be a great battle. We're here to hold the pass and defend Raid Ceres. You've seen this in a dream. What if, theoretically, someone else had a vision like that? He frowns and shrugs. After this mess with the delegates, I wouldn't bring it up. You've asked more than enough questions. Go on, get out of here. I won't warn you again.
They wouldn't be so tough without their fort. Or their army.
Yeah, good point, Adair. Okay, so we could find our way through. I won't warn you again. Alright, fine. You're as touchy as the dragon. Start walking slightly close to your lair. Or your horde, and you get pissy. You know what we're going to do? We're going to ask politely first, then enter via the back door. Can grab a cookie and break. I mean, that's a good point. Hey, all newbies, and everyone in the VOD, and all my lovely people in chat, I take a break at 8:30, and that is in 23 minutes. I will stand up, we will have a 10-minute break, I will come back with a mixed drink, and I have something I've been looking forward to show all of you. Observing it from below, you notice that the watchtower at the side gate appears to be unmanned. You find no hostile faces peering over the fence either. The roof of the tower crosses over the fort walls. Climbing it may provide a means of getting inside. At this hour of night, with the chill rolling in, most of the noise within the camp is concentrated by the campfires. A discreet individual could take the opportunity to climb over and open the gate without raising the alarm. Examine the gate. Looking over the outer wall, you notice two posts which have come a little loose from their moorings, forming a gap. While the gap would be too small for larger kits, you suspect that you might just be able to squeeze past. All in. Because Slam Shadows is a squeezy tiny all-in, we're going to squeeze through the gap. You clamber up towards the gap in the posts. After a good deal of squirming, you manage to get your torso past, and the rest follows. You get your first glimpse of the camp, shrouded in the evening's gloom, and of the guard posted some short distance away. A moment's observation reveals the man is snoring deep asleep. Creep forward to unbar the gate. But your footsteps are loud against the quiet of the evening, and after a handful of seconds you hear the guard jerk awake. You rush to unbar the gate as he shouts for reinforcements behind you. Oh no! Because Slam Shadows is not a stealthy person. Remember, his method of combat is to chant out loud exactly what he's doing at all times. We tried. Slam Shadows, your feet are dummy thick, and you're alerting the guard. I mean, yeah, right? Boy, they sure do like calling us spies. Hey, Aloth? I know it's been a while, but tentacles, please! Alright, he got charmed. Look. Generally, a good rule in diplomacy is don't turn up somewhere with an army who attack on sight and not expect consequences from that. I don't want to hurt these people. I wanted to sneak in and see if we could get past them. They were like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. There you go. Few enterprising individuals have carved crude figures into the wooden
Keep an
logs
eye
of
out.
the latrine.
Quick.
Uh-huh.
Let's go!
Of course.
Piglet! Piglet! We're gonna do our best not to harm that piglet, that's for sure. Let's do the burst damage. Move a little bit. And then do the burst damage. Slime Shadows, do your magic. Chant the words of pain. Yeah, that was pretty good. Eyeless, my friend, you've got bouncing magic missiles. Just do the thing.
Quick.
Piglet, piglet, piglet! They were sincerely planning on setting up for some time with several pigs. Alright. What
Ready, Watcher.
was... Yeah, rest in the lair of Sky Dragon. Well, we'll do that later.
Of course.
Much later. Okay, the piglets lived, which means we may also live. This timeline may continue where the piglets are alive. So, cute little cuties. Yeah. Gentle rap elicits a hollow sound. The cask is almost empty.
That'll do.
I want to see if we can not aggro those. I bet the dude's tent is like there-ish. No. There it is. That's the bastard's tent. Alright, let's sneak it. Oop. Nap scene. Just okay. Okay. Quietly stand out. Oh, all right, never mind. It's fine. Don't worry. We're being quiet. It's gonna be okay. Cast chain lightning. Just drop an ice pillar on them. Okay. They're gonna be...
I wish you know.
Get him. It's fine. Ignore the gunshots. Ignore the chanting. Ignore the lightning cracks. It's all gonna be okay. We are stealthing
Alright, then.
in. And when we get to the guy, he's gonna be like, "What? How'd you get in here?"
Let's see what we got.
These cots have been recently washed. The dirt and mud beneath them is flecked with darker stains. Medical tent. The tents hold little. You spy boots, drying tunics, and a very occasional book. Loxy. That's good. He's real into Aethys. How long do we sit and do nothing? Well, you can do something now. Oh god. Those were their
They
champions.
can see nothing while I see much.
You can see the water's dark surface not far below. Oh, camping supplies, lovely. You can get up onto the parapet from there. Not really much point. Pick under the top reveals barrels marked as powder stores. Well, they do have guns in their army. It wouldn't be too hard, I think, to extract the sound of Adair yelling for Aethys and just using that as an SMS tone, which would be mwah, beautiful. Just amazing. Get a message for Aethys. Very good. Please, listen.
Enough! I've had my fill of... What's this?
Why is this guy so much louder than everything else in the
Steady,
game?
men. Our guest has arrived.
Why was that line so much louder than everything else we've played so far? The Iron Flail commander is a younger man, lean in build. His brown hair is unkempt, his eyes fevered. At his feet is a grate set over what appears to be a pit. You hear a smattering of anxious cries rising from the cell as the commander steps forward. You're a jerk already, buddy.
All that chaos outside. For an instant, I believed you, woman.
Not our fault. His boot comes down hard on the grate.
But he's only a common assassin.
I prefer to settle this peacefully.
I'm sure you would, now that you're here.
Adric sneers.
You want to talk? Set down your...
Adric's words die in his throat, his expression frozen mid-snarl. It isn't clear what's happened, not until you start to feel it too. Unbidden, your senses drift as if you had reached out towards a source of essence. You feel an ache in your chest, an almost painful sensation of being pulled forward. A sudden wave of memories floods your skull, clear as the day they formed. You see Otimer's campsite, ravaged by a bivouac, the halls of Katnua. In the caverns beneath the keep, a stone around you bellows warnings in a dead language. Deeper still, a faint maw parts like a wound in the world. The images wash over you, tracing lives and emotions from 100 different times and places, not all your own. Slowly you become aware of the sensation of being watched. Reach out. You direct your senses, tracing the invasion to its source, Adaric. Conviction burns through him, bright as a brazier. For an instant you share in his emotion, and a sourceless desperation rattles about your skull. Absent context, the fragments of memory you see are just images. A small house across a field of vibrant purple flowers, a sea of armoured kit and flapping banners waiting on your command. There's an uncomfortable moment when you feel your twinned awareness turning in on itself, and the connection is severed. Adaric looks startled, his face ashen. Hey, chat. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We can't choose 5 because we're not a cipher. You're a 1. You're a watcher. 2. Huh, that's never happened before. Stoic. 3. What on Aora was that? And 4. Guess you weren't expecting that. Clever. 2 votes for 2. 2 votes for 4. Loxy. It's just a typo. I think it's just fun to say Loxy in that tone of voice. For our newbies who are watching, feel free to jump into chat and provide a vote on this. I will warn you if it's going to be something horrible, so I won't let you fall astray. Currently, with 2 votes for 2 and 2 votes for 4, this is a tiebreaker, and I'll give you just a little bit more. This isn't a heavy decision, but you know, if you're not in the VODs, and shout out to everyone in the VODs, you get to have a vote. We're all playing this together. That's part of why we're doing it on Twitch, instead of me just saying, hey, go buy this game. It's good. Or, as I've done before, hey, I bought you this game. Play it if you'd like. Please play it. I had a vote from Corvus. Welcome to the club. That's the spirit. And I think... we now have 3 votes for 4 and 2 votes for 2. Nope, you are totally right, Luxy. Now it is a tie, but I want to vote for 4. Guess we weren't expecting that.
You're the Watcher at Katnua? They said he was a senile hermit.
Adaric clears his throat. He said he was a senile hermit. That's me! Adaric's lip curls in irritation. He shakes his head.
Why have you come? Why now?
5, attack! No. I came to find out what happened to the delegates.
The delegates? You tore through my camp, killed my men for them?
Made it worse or better. I think it's funny. I like being the tiebreaker, and it's fun to make Slam show just a little shit. Adaric scowls. Now, we've got another vote. Let's do it again. What kind of reaction did you expect? You held them captive without notice. Rational. Or 2, I would have done things another way if I could have. Benevolent. Or 3, your soldiers should have kept out of my way. Aggressive. 4, why did you imprison these people? And 5, watcher or not, can't let you claim the battery. Or 6, if you're determined to fight, then be it. Luxie's got a good point for 2. Like, we really did want to get in without fighting them. I also didn't, like, super stealth the whole way through, right? I didn't say, okay, Grieving Mother and Devil of Karok, you stealth the way through, we'll see if you can get there. But I think it makes sense. I, like, also have a note that it's kind of... This statement bugs me a little bit, too. The delegates. He tore through my camp, killed my men for them. And, like, he asked why did we come? We say, yeah, we came to figure out what happened to them. And then, tore through my camp, killed my men for them. That statement's like, assuming that we charged in to kill them to free the delegates. Mako's got it exactly right. He has such a low opinion of people that he assumes we decided we're doing it for them, we're going to kill every Iron Flail person we see on the way. We as players from the writing of the game are predisposed to dislike the Iron Flail already. When this part of the expansion starts, we walk into people saying, our people are missing, these guys are fucked, what are we going to do about it? So we're predisposed to dislike this group anyway. It's these sort of writing tricks make it relatively easy to set up someone like Adarik. Like, he's a first movie in a Marvel series, in an MCU series, he's got the same powers as we do, right? Yeah. And we got 2 votes for 2, so let's go with that. I would have done things another way if I could have.
You could have turned around. If not for the delegates, all of this could have been avoided.
You breathe out.
Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous.
Adarik paces a few steps before he gets a hold of himself.
But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
Now that's interesting. A shrill voice suddenly rises up from the pit. Adarik stomps down angrily on the bars, drowning her out. Good sound mixing. That was interesting. Did they send the Andra cultists? You don't think you've overreacted a little?
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains.
It doesn't have to be more than a village in the mountains. You turned up with an army.
They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else.
Forging is explicitly one of the divinities of the setting's purview, dude.
I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me?
That might as well be something from a Thursday prayer books. It's a good line, too. I've tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me? He looks down at the grate of the cell, eyes flashing with a sudden anger. Yeah, well, here's the thing. A proverb said by a jerk is still... It doesn't add weight to his words. He's still a jerk. What do you want with Stalwart, anyway?
With a village of fishermen, nothing. But they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them. Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons.
Whoops, I fixed him.
With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass.
Against what?
Rayed Saris has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing.
He looks at Adair, Joel working.
We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act.
The Deerwood. From what we know of the plot so far, do we believe the Deerwood is likely to attack Rayed Saris in revenge? It's not exactly in a state to bring up an army, with the Hollowborn crisis and all. What happens afterwards? The Deerwood is essentially where most of the game is set. In fact, nearly all of it. And it's the only place that is affected by the Hollowborn crisis because that's where the Ingwithan machines are directing souls as part of the cycle to this machine instead of into babies. So it doesn't seem super imminent, exactly, Luxie. But Cold Morn was razed to the ground. So who knows?
There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and come for Raid Ceres.
Edric's gaze is distant.
The iron flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear.
Okay, I did not mean to preempt chat option number 3 by going through those things myself. I did not mean to preempt perhaps your vote for number 3, but it is a good point, right? So let's list the options. Chat, I'd love for you to vote on this one. This feels like a more weighty decision instead of just being smarmy, so we'll give ourselves a little bit longer. 1. Wait, you had a vision of an army? Or 2. Darren mentioned you had a vision. 3. Intellect. Between the Duke's assassination and the Hollowborn crisis, Deerwood's a little preoccupied. Rational. 4. What makes you think that the Deerwood is going to attack? And 5. Is that why you're here? 6. If the Deerwood does attack, you brought it upon yourselves. 7. The Deerwood is my home now, and I'll defend it with my life. Passionate. And 8. What sure or not, can't let you clear the battery. Attack. Always use stats. I'm going to take that Luxie as a vote for 3, which means we have 3 votes for 3, unless we count Hendo as 9, because you've said 3 times. I think it's very funny, me being Polygonal, nearly said, hey, Hendo, you've said 3 a couple of times, and you've put it in chat 3 times. Yeah, 3's a couple, right? Bad joke. But I do it every time. Alright, unless we get a shout out from someone to choose a different one, because chat can scroll a little slow for everyone. I'm going to press 3 and use our stats and make slam shadows. 3's the thruple. Yeah. It works. Sure does. Between the Duke's assassination and the Hollowborn crisis, Deerwood's a little preoccupied.
So I believed. Hoped, maybe. But that only means they're angry. They'll look for someone to blame, an enemy to fight.
Well, they were looking at the same thing again, slightly different numbers. So 1, wait, you had a vision of an army? 2, Deerwood mentioned you had a vision. 3, what makes you think that the Deerwood is going to attack? And 4, that's why you're here. Always use stats. Well, yeah, I mean, we learned something a little bit more, right? To be honest, we get the idea that he's pretty determined to insist that the Deerwood is going to attack. Right? We pointed out a flaw in that plan. He's like, yeah, but too bad. 1 vote for 2, 1 vote for 3. Not bad at all. Two votes for 3. That's our common voters for tonight. Let's press number 3. What makes you think that the Deerwood is going to attack?
I've seen it. Like a memory plucked from the dead. But this was a warning from the gods. I can't sit back and do nothing.
Well, we learn a little more, but not enough to get to a decision, so let's press 2, which was the next highest.
Let the fools at Stalwart mock me all they wish.
Sorry, Baker.
I know what I saw. If they had seen the same, they'd understand. I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher.
Now got a couple of votes for 1. Let's do that. Wait, you had a vision of an army?
I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher.
It's the same, so let's go with 2. I had a vision 2. In mine, I saw Cadnua reduced to rubble by an army that shook the earth. Doubt creases Aderic's brow. These men exchanged looks, waiting tensely for orders.
Why would they turn on their own?
Here we go.
No. You're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction.
Alright. Hey everyone. I'm going to go have a break because it is 8:29 and we have a break at 8:30. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is read out the chat votes, and you can make your votes for when we get back. I will also, make your decisions. I will hit the break button, but we will return and I'll read them again, okay? So, 1, intellect 14, all that destruction we saw, you really think a bunch of backwater fools can do that? Clever. 2, I remember thunder, 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar? And 3, I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake. Rational. 4, resolve 16. If we fight, you die here. What good are you to Ray and Ceres then? And 5, attack. If you're determined to fight, so be it. We will review these again and our votes when we return in 10 minutes. I'll see you at 8:40. Go stretch.
I'm going to click the live stream button. We're going to check microphones up. Alright, welcome back everybody. I hit the chatting button because there's a slightly larger camera and you should see this. Oh no, it's another bright green drink. Jimbles, what did you do? Please tell me it's not Mountain Dew. It is not Mountain Dew! No, it's not. Jimbles, is that a splice? Well, no. Not quite, my friend. It's not Mountain Dew. It has Midori, so it's close to a spice. But it is actually me finally getting around to making something like a named drink from Greg from How to Drink. I've liked the How to Drink show for some time. Greg kind of inspired me to get into cocktail making and pick up the bar course and get qualified. And now I'm very excited to take a sip of the Chaos Reigns from his most recent episode on drinks from Critical Role. Oh, fuck, that's good. Alright, this is going into my rotation. That is fan-friggin-tastic. It's essentially a Midori sour. It is really good, really sharp, and very sweet. What's in it? I actually swapped out the Bacardi 151 white rum with Malibu. So it's Midori and Malibu and a bit of bitters and a little bit of simple. And it's good. I'll also note that through the efforts of some friends, we have now hit 50 followers. Thank you very much for everyone to everyone who's joined us on this little adventure. It's been fantastic. I'll apply to Twitch to see if they'll allow me to become an affiliate sometime soon. And that will allow us to do polls, apparently. Maybe even get some custom emotes, that sort of thing. Build ourselves up a community around these people who just hang out and chat and play some long, intense games with someone who can read all the box text with a microphone that isn't trying to kill me. Let's click live stream. And not break, which is what I accidentally just clicked. Alright. So, we had a couple of votes. 2 votes for 1, and Luxie doesn't mind 3. But let's go over them again. Why would they turn on their own? No, you're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction. And Slam can respond with 1, intellect. All that destruction we saw. You really think a bunch of backwater fools can do that? 2, I remember thunder and 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar? And 3, I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake. 4, resolve 16. If we fight, you die here. What good are you to Red Ceres then? And 5, if you're determined to fight, so be it. Luxie, you truly are 1,000 years old? What are you talking about? Hilarious. Enjoy, VODers. Yeah, now that everyone can see the chat, your shame is saved forever on YouTube. We see 2 votes for 1. I don't think if we have anyone else yelling other numbers, I'm going to choose 1, and let's say it.
Hey, you can call them backwater fools all you want, but don't let them hear you badmouth their destruction.
Oh dear. Adric looks at Adair, frowning. Friends, we have a good capacity for choosing things that are funny and add something to the conversation but aren't straight up choices. So, now we've got 4 choices. 1, I remember thunder and 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar? 2, I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake. And 3, resolve 16. If we fight, you die here. What good are you to Red Ceres then? And 4, attack! If you're determined to fight, then so be it. Two votes for 1. I like 1 too. It's also kind of honest as well. God, this is fucking gold. I'm gonna make this for other people.
This was also Greg's response too when he tasted it a couple times on camera. He was just like, this is a really good drink. Like 3, but okay with 1. Alright, 3 is also good, you know, using our stats. But let's say 100 eyes gazing back at me.
The thunder followed me to the temple at dawn's reach, and the earth split beneath our feet.
Derek swallows and looks unsure. Now we've got another option. With 2, you read my soul. What did that tell you? 1, Aethys worshipper. Requirement not met. There are a lot of options for that, specifically playing priests only, right? Because you don't get that Aethys unless you are a priest of Aethys, which would be very interesting going to the Deerwood being. There are a couple of options for priest specifically, but there are also a couple of options for Cypher. I don't think Barbarian comes up much, you know? Nor does Fighter. I guess that's like mechanically a reason not to choose those classes. Slightly less interesting choices in dialogue. Cypher's the fucking best. I gotta tell you. So often you're just like, oh, well, like you can tell him specifically, no, you're not a watcher. I'm not a watcher. I just read your mind. I'm a Cypher, lol. I don't know how long that lasts, but it is pretty funny. Anyway, 2 votes for 3. Let's do that. Because, you know, pretty rational. I thought the Iron Flail might be the army in my own vision. Perhaps we both made a mistake.
Why should I believe any of this? You would say anything at all to protect Stalwart.
Ooh. See that? Stalwart -3, requirement not met. You must have the town fucking hating you to choose that. Options 2 and 3. 2. Think. What if you're wrong? You're losing men and resources fighting people who aren't your enemies. And 3. You read my soul. What did that tell you? 2 votes for 3, 1 vote for 2. We'll give it just a little bit more before I select number 3. Ah, damn it. Stalwart -2. Ugh. Maybe I'm old too and can't see anything. Oh, those keeping track at home, I apparently don't have IIH. i.e. too much brain juice. Probably. So, like, that's a plus. I don't have a terrible debilitating illness. I also don't have an excuse as to why my head hurts all the time. It does mean I have to stop saying to people I have too much brain juice, which was, again, very funny. Oh well. It's fine. I'll see a neurologist sometime soon. 2 votes for 3. Let's go. You read my soul. What did that tell you?
That you're soft-hearted. But it hasn't seemed to stop you.
Benevolent 3. That you're soft-hearted. Aderic's voice is brittle.
And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed.
Aderic pauses. 1. We both know something's coming. Maybe 2 watchers can figure out how to stop it. Or 2. Fine. Then believe me now. There is another way. And 3. Fine. I see it. Fine. I see there is no convincing you. Luxie, you got a point there. It is incorrect. 1 or 2. Well, technically 2 votes for 2. 2 votes for 1. Jeez. I'll give you a minute. Maybe Luxie's preference. Or I will tiebreak. Okay, 2 votes for 1. Let's go. We both know something's coming. Maybe 2 watchers can figure out how to stop it. For several moments, there is nothing but silence in the cabin. And you hear the scrape of metal as Adaric takes up his sword, only to lay it flat across his palms.
I led my people here because I believed we were on the right path. I bound my soul to this blade as proof of my surety.
There's a ripple of soul energy in the air, there and gone. Adaric looks pained.
The sword's no good to me now. It's yours, for as long as you can wield it.
Alright, sweet, free sword.
I'll call in our forces from the mountains. Please, give me time to explain. You should speak with Stalwart's messengers. Perhaps you'll get some answers out of them.
End dialogue. Look at that. Slam Shadows is granted Sever the Soul.
Yeah?
What did that do? The Watcher targets the very essence of a creature with their next attack, bypassing the target's defenses and leaving them weakened. Neat.
Hey.
Great, you've added an item.
You've added an item, sell key, is added to the stash. Cool, we'll be able to do that. Also, what is Steadfast? Probably gone to Slam, Torrent, Spring, Cloud Pizza. Cloud Pizza. No, it's not quite as good as previous. It's probably here then. Nope. Come on, you said you gave us a fancy sword. There it is. Steadfast. Soulbound, sword, one-handed. Priest, paladin, ranger, druid, barbarian, monk, rogue. Rogue, monk, cipher, wizard, chanter, fighter. Will resolve. We could put it on Slam Shadows, to be honest. I don't think we will. Look, Hander is a good point. That de-escalated quickly. Yeah. Why are the diplomats crazy, huh? I hope we can find out.
You gotta see this.
Of course.
Yoink! Looting your stuff. Properties, quickness, extra attack speed. Pretty good. Weird that this container is a book containing some gauntlets. Pick that up. Random law book. Love me some law books. Right, let's free some diplomats, huh? Yeah, for a bit. Did you miss anything? You missed this amazing drink, Corey. Oh, thank you. I thought we'd never get out of there. Just let everyone know how happy you are to be alive and we'll be even. I don't know how you managed to talk that man down. He was practically foaming at the mouth. And he and his men are still skulking around the mountains. I'm not sure letting him live is the best idea. Stalwart, moderate positive. Stalwart, minor negative. Jeez. The commander wasn't the problem. One of the delegates points an accusing finger at another, a woman standing apart from the rest. It might have come to terms if she hadn't goaded him, shouting at him about omens and curses, demanding he leave the march. You know how superstitious the raid Sarens are? The commander went white as a sheet. She sabotaged the meeting. The woman in question is dressed in unassuming robes. She bears the accusation silently, her eyes closed as if in prayer. Care to explain yourself? With desperate speed, the woman suddenly lunges sidelong towards a nearby rack and seizes a dagger lying there. She sets a blade to her own throat. No. Oh, sorry, Mako. Oh, come on! Unseen to all but yourself, the dying woman's soul essence coils in thin wisps about her body. It only grows brighter as her corpse stills. The remaining delegates stare in horror at her pooling blood. Us too, what the fuck? What just happened? Damn it, no one ever got an answer out of her. Did they pull your names out of a hat when they put this delegation together? No, that's... I don't know, Mako, maybe she rolled really low on her knowledge watcher roll. Don't be so sure. Step aside. You reach out and brace against the sudden flare of pain and fear, digging after less recent events. There's a copper taste in your mouth and a pain like fire in your throat. Under the brute terror of death, you find a comforting thread of resolve, of satisfaction and duty fulfilled. You follow it. It leads you stumbling into another memory, as whole and vivid as the first. You walk the dark halls of an abbey, dimly lit and quiet, your footsteps loud. A blur, and you are standing in a dimly lit room, facing a robed armoire. You recognize him as Kautor, the High Abbot. He beckons you forward. Examine your surroundings. You are in a wide, rounded chamber. The tiles beneath your feet are covered in strange, curling symbols. You recognize them as symbols of Ondra, goddess of sea and memory. The memory blurs. When your sight is clear, you are standing in front of Kautor. He is smiling gently down at you.
Drive the raid Sarens from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives. The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Eyeless in my stead. If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do. I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Andra's favorite in her keeping.
He sets a hand on your shoulder. The words jar you loose from the memory, flinging you back into the moment of the woman's death, and then into your own skin. But traces of her memory join yours. You know the path to the abbey to which she was to return, buried in the mountains to the north. Is the name Eyeless familiar to anyone? The Eyeless? No figure of speech, for when you can't remember something. You say it must be the Eyeless took it from me. Yes, but there's a story to it. It's supposed to do the bidding of the Lady of Lament. Andra points and they come, out of nowhere, wipe things from the face of the world. That's why whenever something up and goes missing or gets destroyed with no one there to see it, you're supposed to thank Audra that the Eyeless didn't come for you too. Do you know a Kato? Kato, oh yeah. He came through town some time back. He stopped by the temple and stole it. This was just after the town decided to rededicate it to Abaddon. Didn't seem too pleased about it. He was dressed like a priest. Maybe he took offense. He's an Armor, tall fellow, very polite considering he's apparently the leader of some fanatical sect. I think it's clear we haven't seen the best judges. I think it's clear we haven't been the best judges of character recently. Ugh. I do not need any AI to make me more slurry. I'm happy to do it myself. Do any of you know what a Tidebringer is? Tidebringer? That's something you used to talk about at the Temple of Andra, I think. It's a person, a title, I mean, tends to be used more in the devout circles. What about the Eyeless? Have you heard of them? Figure of speech, same thing as before. Never mind that. Tidebringer, same thing. Okay. Do you know anything about an abbey to the north? I've heard of something like that. An Andrite stronghold? Not the kind of place that welcomes visitors. Is that where she came from? Delegate points towards the dead woman. Apparently these Andrites have an army too. What, another one? God, it feels like everyone in Eora is after the battery now. Well, why would these Andrites want the raid Sarens out? That's for Stalwart's benefit. Competition, maybe. Who needs a reason? If you do mean to go to this abbey, be careful. There have been stories about traders wandering north and getting scared off or even killed by strange guards. They're a secretive bunch. I suppose you could always try to sneak in, but you'll be welcome otherwise. It sounds like this Tidebringer would be welcome. I mean, maybe I can convince them I'm the one they've been waiting for. I hope so. Imagine that abbey is heavily guarded. A sudden deafening crash from outside makes the delegate jump, startled. Rumbling like thunder follows. You hear further sounds of smashing timbers, panicked screaming. Oh no, what's happening? I thought you took care of the soldiers. I did. This is something else. Yes, well, we'll wait here, inside. Investigate the commotion. Free dagger. Eep. Prophet thunder. Good thing we restored those cannons, right? Can't be that. Flavored egg white foam. Delicious. What the fuck is that? Eyeless. Eyeless hammer. Eyeless hammer.
What good's a fort that can't keep those things out?
Good point.
Good shot.
Oh, Alops is dead.
Gotta try something else.
That thing just kind of eye-rayed Aloth to death. It's taking so little damage. Knocks everyone down. Good job, Greedy Mother. Wow. As last Megfolk falls, a tide of essence sweeps through the aether. It washes over you and you find yourself in the memories of the Eyeless.
The hulking creatures surround you, their sinew-wrapped skeletons clanking and screeching in the semi-darkness. Their bodies fill the air with a tang of metal and a musk of sweat. The cavern in which you stand, it looks like a cavern anyway, glows with a dim, ambient light. Steel flashes as the eyeless shift and stir. They stamp their feet and groan in rasping metallic voices. Their listless energy prickles at the back of your neck. And in the echoing rumble, you hear something familiar. It's the pounding noise from your dream, the harbinger of a terrible army. You begin to wonder how many eyeless there are, eyeless are crowded around you. You suspect there must be scores of them, maybe more. It's difficult to tell how far back this chamber goes, or where it is. Ahead you see a glint of light. It might be an exit. Already, however, the vision is starting to fade. Explore further into the chamber. You push past the lumbering eyelets and cling to the wilting shreds of the vision. The cavern broadens before you. It swells with echoes until you hear the growling, grinding sounds of all of the eyeless all around. You pull yourself onto a glowing crystalline outcropping and survey the expanse of blunt heads and piston arms. There aren't scores of them. There are hundreds. The vision ends, returning you to the frozen and blood-churned mud of the fort. Megfolk, like Magefolk, Magic Maid. I don't know the etymology. I'm interested. I think it may also be another way for like Magic Folk, as in giant, but I'm not certain. We got to look into Celtic mythology for that. I'd say it's a lot. Yeah. Adaric appears to have taken some blows. There is a purpling bruise along his temple, and his armor is dented in several places. He looks rather dazed.
Those things, they came from all sides. The delegate... No, you were right. The visions are true.
Adaric looks you over.
You fought well. And I'm glad to see you've come through in one piece, even if I regret the loss of my men.
2 of them killed Aloth and damaged the rest of us.
I'll take what's left of our forces. Those that will follow me further up the mountain. We should be prepared when those monsters return.
Good luck, Commander.
And to you. If these visions really will come to pass, then the worst has yet to come.
Adaric bows his head and turns away.
Wait till I tell Kalu and the kids about that.
Hey.
I'd say you're entirely right, Loxy. Slop is correct, as I pick up the last of that extra delicious egg white foam. Oh, Place of Great Silence is finished. Zawa traveled and inquired all over the Eastern Reach to track down the missing monks. One by one, the monks came across Zawa's path in a variety of forms. Some kith, some beasts, some in unique forms. Having apparently forgotten why they'd set out on their meditation, the monks engaged Zawa in a protracted series of philosophical conversations. Ultimately, each monk travelled back through the mental labyrinths they had created, triggering its spontaneous realization and subsequent molting back into their original form. When they had all returned to the monastery, they presented Zawa with a chime. Each monk had donated one of the chime's 12 bells to the final instrument. The inward-looking chime uses 12, friendly aura of 5 meters, that's not that much, invisible, immune to engagement, untargetable, break enchantments. Whew, that's powerful, get the hell out of here. Magic, that is. I think Zawa was a good choice for that, don't you think? I'm going to loot just to see if I'm missing something. Ooh.
Oh, look at here.
Ah, look at here. A letter home. My love, I've enclosed some coins and stalwarts who have proof that I arrived. You are right. I'm colder than I have ever been. All the more so for being far away from you. The kith here are as cold as their land. They do not hate us as the dear Woodens do, but they are mistrustful and proud. The commander has sent for delegates to start negotiations. Perhaps by the time this letter reaches you, we will have moved into Durgan's battery. Stalwart has no soldiers, only a handful of guards. Ephraim says he went to look at the battery with some scouts and did not see anyone posted atop the tower. Without these cannons, they would be foolish to do anything but surrender. If not, we're sure to knock the fight out of them quickly. The commander says that once the battery is ours, our presence here alone may be enough to make the invaders think twice. Who would face us with the might of the battery at our backs? I write too much of battle, only to assure you that we are well. I miss you. The mountains are beautiful. I hold hope that you may see them for yourself once it is safe for you to join us. Well, I hope I didn't kill you, but I do feel bad if I did. The trebuchet is disassembled, but intact. Hot pitch roils ominously from within this cauldron. Jingle, jangle. The spigot in this cask exudes a thick chemical stench.
Hey.
Anvil. A ring of searing flames. Pile of straw. A war pup? This plump, brindle-coated puppy already boasted discipline bearing, but only till it spots something to play with. Okay, well, we're going to put this Whispers of Yenwood back. Oh, I wish we
You
could.
give me any more gifts and people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
I am playing favorites. I like you. Where did that dog go? It's probably here. There's the war puppy. Slam Shadows, please equip the war dog. Now Lagerfeth is very cute, but it is time for us to have a war puppy.
Hey.
War dog. Boy, I'm glad we went to Luton. I wouldn't go astray to have a mod where you can equip all of the pets at the same time. That would be fun as hell. I'm Falacha. This character's currently busy. These logs seem recently cut. From their size, no one's numbered amongst the older trees surrounding the pass. Just ahead of you, the gates to the fort remain shut fast. No, they don't. You spy archers moving atop the walls of watchtowers, scanning the surroundings, and the chill breeze carries the scent of burning pitch. No, you don't. Launch an assault in the fort with a battering ram? Fuck yeah, let's go! Each taking up some section of the burden, you and your companions are able to haul one of the logs up and away from the rest. Improvised battering ram in tow, you march for the gates ahead. Well, God, I love video games. That is the video gamiest thing I've seen in a while, right? A bit late to batter down the walls, but the game does give you the option because it's very funny. Don't remove the interactable and use the same dialogue with the interactable. Problem solved. It's just, it puts the game in the state where it's dead. Nothing happens. What the hell? Let's loot this leg. No, that was actually there a little while ago. Do you think the battery's doing okay? I do. We hope. Our work is here. Lodgar, any news? Nope. Okay. It's actually from the caravan where we completed a quest in part 1. Those corpses, they're truly okay. Could be worse. Now, we're going to change the party. I'm actually going to drop Sagani, which is a shame because she's very cool. To do that, we need to go back to Stalwart. And how many days do I have left? I haven't actually rested that often, but I will take a look. And maybe it just seems climactic to walk away from this tragedy and then head home. But it does take a couple of days to travel, so maybe we should go there. Let's do that. Thank you, Mako. Very smart. Hiling Penny! Do we need to talk to anyone here? Journey to the Abbey of Fallen Moon. Because we're changing the party to add Manaha, because we want to go to the Abbey of Fallen Moon. We've got an army. Find out all of the army. Rising Tide, travel to the Abbey. Right, well, no, with no side quests. What about tasks? Travel to Hades' house. East of Stalwart and Whitestone Hollow, close to a trade route. Maybe we'll do that. Meet Nestor at the White Forge in Durgan's Battery. Oh, Okay. We could do risk tolerance, I guess. Alright, we'll do it on the way past, alright? Forgot man how I existed. Yeah!
Where have you got to this time?
This woman looks at you like she's used to hearing bad news. She shakes her head and holds up her hands before you can even begin. Look, I can tell Hammond better haven't seen Mila all day. Besides, he ought to keep a better eye on his shop if he doesn't want the little ones poking around. She folds her arms and plants her feet wide. Mila? I think you've mistaken me for someone else. Oh, I didn't recognize you. You're the one who opened up the battery, aren't you? Rose looks both embarrassed and nervous as she stumbled over her words. It's just that my daughter, Mila, she spends time over at Hammond's tent, gets underfoot. She shrugs, exhausted and exasperated. Figured he sent someone over to complain about her. Again. But you ain't hear about her, are you? What's Hammond's Emporium? New shop, built up where Katie's house used to be, near the Western Palisade. Hammond's one of them who came up from the Deerwood. Sells good steel, but holds his nose every time he crosses paths with one of us. You don't know where your own child is? That's kind of mean. She backs away like she's been slapped. Slammed? I didn't say that. Unable to look you in the eyes, her gaze darts to the ground, her cheeks flush with embarrassment. It's hard keeping track of her with all the commotion around here lately. Don't be a dick, Slam. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure she'll turn up. Do you need any help finding her? She's been out for quite a while now. That's nothing new. She chews her lip, wondering. Still, I can't help but worry that she's gone and gotten herself into some trouble. If you could keep an eye or two open for a while you're in town, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll make sure she's not in any trouble. Well, thank you. Everyone is so busy these days with the mines and the forge opening back up again. It's kind of you to help. Leave. Yeah, I do wish we could do it as a non-accusation. Just like, do you want me to help you find your daughter is missing or your daughter's running around? Who knows, right? Well, Miller's not here, but bet we can ask Hammond about it. How may I be of service? Hammond gives you the broad, gleaming smile of a born salesman. There's a little girl, Mila, that comes around here. I heard she's been causing trouble for you. She's out of control, though I suppose one can hardly blame her, what with the way of her own mother's always screaming at her. Leans across the counter and speaks to you in a conspiratorial whisper. Yep. I mean, where do you think the little rascal learns that kind of behavior? He tilts his head. Fuck you, Hammond. Only person I've ever seen give her a proper talking to is that wild woman who loiters by the huts south of here. Ask her, that's her name. I don't know what it's about, but the girl's eyes were this big. He curves his hand into circles as large as goose eggs. But I suppose someone's got to do it. I told the girl's mother I'd be speaking with Mayor Tarfos if I caught her peeking about my shop again, so I guess it worked. He shrugs. Fuck off, Hammond. Make you on a queer tangent. Not a bad idea. I encourage everyone who can tap links to tap links. Tap the link and see what she's talking about. Eska.
Blazes. What am I to do with all of these?
A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow. And who are these people? Magrin's faithful? Great. Another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. He glances up at you. Oh, sorry, Slam Shadows. Just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down with some ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or work for those interested, just saying. I heard you scolded Royce's girl? Aska cocks her head, thinking for a moment. Then she begins laughing. You know what that girl did? Snatch a whole chicken from the Graf's Rest. Raw. Thought I'd better not capture her thieving again, but I was trying my damnedest not to laugh. Funny kid. She wipes a tear from the corner of her eye. But it's gotta be rough on her, you know. Her old man's working at the battery, and he's one absence away from getting fired. Again. Places, the only reason Lodgar still has a job is because Wanderer's a softy beneath all that soot. But Miller, she showed up at the battery the other day and nearly got him sacked. Since then, I've seen her keeping to herself. Spends a lot of time at the temple there, come to think of it. You mentioned blights? A terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster, that. Great big heap of snow, right on top of one of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until you get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back this thing's head, but the word is the Terraslus victim was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figure it's somewhere in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch. I'll take it as proof you handled the blight's unfair. Alright. Who are Magrin's faithful? Bandits and horse thieves, as far as I can tell. Led by a woman named Roadwith. Problem is, the little group keeps growing and have started tearing through some of the smaller villages. Last spotted near Searing Falls, and rumor is they're headed in our direction. Starwood's just getting his bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Roadwith's head, and we'll see you a little richer for it. Leave. Ah! Well, alright. Quests. Well, let's go into the temple. Tarfus isn't bad, man, but I liked having Renengild in charge. Side quests, yeah. Like, it's a running joke how much I love side quests in games. I just straight up love side quests. They're amazing. Sometimes they're the best part of a game. Sometimes they're just like a lovely diversion between the heavy shit. Hey, Engrim. I heard Royce's girl Miller sometimes comes here. He smiles kindly. She usually sits just there by the forge and draws with some of the charcoal dumps. Poor girl's lonely. The only other children in town are a few years older, and the others that would have been her age were all Hollowborn. He shakes his head. Okay.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Miller's drawing, as well as Starwood. Quest item. This lightly singed piece of paper has a charcoal drawing on the front. Examine. Aww. Did we go from asking about a little to being asked to kill a dude? Yeah, we did. But that's only because the quest person we needed to speak at that point is a new bounty giver. Is his two children with rubbed out face and Miller. Dead nomaded. Wild Miller. Depicts children playing near a cave. Should ask someone who knows Miller well to see if they know more about this place.
You must gather?
Yeah, we were asking about a little girl, and that person is also a Miller, another child, and adult. Yeah, that's exactly right. It also could be Miller and two other children that are kind of blackened. Ghosts! Sorry. Ghosts! It is spooky November. Don't suppose you've caught sight of Miller yet? Royce folds her arms and worries at her sleeve. Show her the drawing. You recognize this place? She squints at it. Mountains in a cave, lots of those in these parts. She squints. Her signs could be standing stones, like the ones at Whitestone Hollow. Huh, I don't know why she'd go off there. Is it some place Miller likes to run off to? She often takes off to Hammond's Emporium, she shrugs. Has a problem with looking at things instead of touching them. Hammond's been on my back the last few days. I don't father know where he's gone. Please, don't worry him. He's in enough trouble with his job already. She smiles weakly. Truly, all of you appreciate what you did, opening the battery back up. Folks like my Lodgar making good money patching up all the damage out front. But please don't set his mind spinning about where it is. I won't tell him anything, don't worry. Honest 3. Just stay away from him. Word is, you couldn't keep a secret if your life depended on it. She winces as soon as the last word leaves her mouth and shrugs apologetically. Wow, okay. But hey, somewhere in Whitestone Hollow. This side quest is not time dependent. Leaving in 8 days. Let's go and see the visitor back in Cadnua. We can get new party members at the same time. And everything here isn't time sensitive, will be okay. We didn't rest between those times. That's why. That's the only reason why. No, we're not going there. Did we seriously get a bounty for Searing Falls? Whitestone Hollow. Searing Falls. Okay. Searing Falls is here. Why does she have a bounty for it? Why do people in Starwood actually care? That's ridiculous. I figure we will actually rest several times at the Temple of Ondra, right? And I don't want to run the risk or make anyone nervous that we'll miss the thing. Word is she's heading away. Shit, alright.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Should be, Eyeless. We're amazing. Because the whole place is fully rebuilt. Cadnor is perfect right now. Gator. Slime Shadows, I could use your assistance. I'm Gator, a researcher in the field of animancy. I could use some assistance if you're willing to hear me out. Very well, let's hear it. You call your allies together and motion for the petitioner to step forward. Didn't want to miss it. Let's do it. I'm looking into Bioarc problem. That is, forces that can unhouse souls from their vessels. I'm trying to develop some kind of defense to protect people against these forces. We did finish fixing all the damages. Hendo? The trouble is, investigating what unhouses souls in the first place requires, well, souls. I haven't been able to arrange any test subjects. I need your help. We've lost so many people to these bioworks already. Perhaps if we could prevent such things from ever happening again. I'd like a moment to discuss this with my people. Oh, of course, don't mind me. Gator steps politely back out of hearing range. Okay. So, we've got options. 1. Devil, I'd like you to head back with Gator. Once you're at the lab, kill her and destroy her research. 2. Aloth, follow Gator back to the lab, see to it that the research is destroyed, but don't hurt her. Maybe we should have asked 1 first. Well, we can go back by hitting 3, motion for your guest to prefer. And 1 says perhaps you can use something other than Kith for these tests. What does she want? Souls. People, give her souls. She may be kind-hearted, but she is going to use souls in animancy experiments. Let's see what happens when we press 1. Perhaps you can use something other than Kith for these tests. Be willing to try using alternate subjects if you have a suggestion. There are vessels in the Estonwood. You can use them. Yes, I pressed 1. Hey, you got any prisoners I can experiment on? Vessel. Vessels are dead people with, or seemingly dead people with souls bound to them. They are the traditional zombies, vampires, some sentient undead, and even far-off revenants who are no longer sentient undead at all. Remember the researchers at the top of the tower when they turned on the tower? And they would slowly develop a hunger to keep their body alive, and without eating flesh or soul energy of living people, they began to die. That's a vessel. Vessel flesh is one of the things we loot whenever we kill some flesh constructs and all of the zombies. I think 1, honestly, is my preferred choice. Mako's voted for 1 unless we get a lot of other people yelling out 2 or 3, which would allow us to say, hey, devil, go sneak and kill them. I'll select 1. It's not as easy as just, like, have... morally tricky because, like, you can save them and release their souls. The worst thing is, as far as I remember, no, you can't unbind a soul from a body in a way that creates a vessel, which is why it's not a handy way to have, like, immortality, because you are bound to a body that will decay, and if you stop eating other flesh, you will die. And get turned into a zombie, and you're still kind of sentiently bound to the body and bones and dust. You need, like, a watcher, maybe some animancers to unbind you from that. Otherwise, you'll never be reborn either. So it's not good. We've got a couple of votes for 1, so let's go. Sorry, Hendo. No, vessels in the Estonwood, can't use them. Yes, but working with vessels can be dangerous. She wrings her hands anxiously. Well, there you go. 2, Adair can help. He's good with this sort of thing. We'll lose him for a bit of time, but it's not a bad idea, Mako. I'm happy to tell you Adair does not die if you send him with us. It's just he'll be unavailable for a couple of days. And that's okay. We can do without him. He doesn't even have a shield right now. He has a 2-hand sword. I think if you send her with nothing, she might die. Don't mind losing Adair. I have a barbarian whose side quest we need to do. That's a damn good point, you know. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Will he hate it, was my thought. I don't think he'd complain over much. He also won't complain enough to leave. Like, that's not on the line here. A couple of votes for 2, that's pretty good. It doesn't actually have any agency, it's fine. You're not wrong, though. Alright, I agree. Let's do it. Let's send Adair. Yep. Adair can help. He's good at this sort of thing. My parents are very proud. Adair will be busy for 4 days. Excellent. With your help, I'm sure we'll be on track to develop a cure in no time. Thank you so much for this. Gator leaves the stronghold. Well, that's pretty good, I'd say. Good solution. Nethead's finger. I also took the opportunity to read the quest. And we're going to take a slight detour so I can pick up the next part of the Grey Sleeper. Oh my god. I don't think we can take the detour. Because I just sent Adair away, and he's got the fucking sword. That's hilarious. Okay. Well then, welcome, Barbarian Lady. Yeah, we'll take her. She levels up. Will the greatsword that the Grieving Mother is using work on Manaha? Yeah, it would. Frenzy. Bloody extra attack on endurance. Attack fortitude instead of deflection if fortitude is lower. That's amazing. So, presence. A passive. As long as Barbarian is stationary, nearby enemies may become sickened. That's good. Whenever you've killed 2 enemies, you get extra attack speed. Whenever you go carnage attacks when you get to full health. Can't be engaged by enemies more than one level. Barbarians have cool abilities. Leap. Passive, anyone hitting you takes damage. That's good. Killing an enemy, the recovery is ready for allowing him to attack. Oh, let's take cleave, that's hilarious. Stupid weapon combo? What, dual flails? I mean, I did it on purpose because it's really silly. I'm going to get that one because she may end up using a greatsword.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Well, +3 might. Supplicant is sent from Defiance Bay. Give him money. Go away. Message from across the room. Are you winning, Jim? Yeah, I'd say so.
It's amazing. You could fit a whole village in here.
I decided to take... Oh, Matt wants to talk to you. Hey.
So, you said the Eyeless came from the Abbey. I'd heard rumors of the Eyeless, but I always thought that name was a metaphor. Though I would have called them Mace Hands of Doom, if anyone had asked me.
That's why they didn't.
Ah, you wound me.
She places a hand over her heart.
So, this is the mysterious army you've been dreaming about, huh? It's a wonder you're getting any sleep.
That's why we're going to the Abbey, to stop him.
I'm regretting all of my decision-making up to this point.
She sighs.
Still, I guess a suicidal plan is better than none.
I thought you'd be happy. You've been looking for the Abbey for a long time.
I know, it's just...
She grumbles with exasperation.
Well, knowing that I'm finally close to getting rid of this memory, it feels like it's crowding my head that much more.
She paces and locks her fingers into her hair.
It's been with me for decades. Driven me halfway across the known world.
She throws her hands up. Sounds like an unhealthy relationship.
But without makeup sex.
After my own heart, Benaher. She stops pacing and sighs.
It's time I told you what I did.
Take your time.
It was a war. Centuries ago, before Adiran unification.
She folds her hands in front of herself.
I was a soldier then. Led a campaign across the northern forests to subdue some of the outlying Kulklan villages. Brutal work.
I don't understand. What war?
This was 500 years ago, when Adir was a folk kingdom on one side and elven country on the other.
She is old.
They fought on and off before they joined. Now the folk and elven rulers marry to keep the peace.
And the folk and elven rulers marry to keep the peace. That's Aloth's parents. Go on.
Right. The campaign. Lost a third of my forces to the forest, and another third to the elven scouts hiding in it.
Loxley, that's
By the
hilarious.
time we reached the first village, we'd crushed their defenses, and they'd bled us.
She shakes her head.
Wasn't much more than children and the elderly left. But they spit on us when we marched into town.
A scowl twists her face. Her eyes are cold.
The village elders surrendered, and offered us lodging in the old meeting hall. And when the sun set, they tried to burn it down around us.
She closes her eyes.
They barely got a flame going, but that wasn't the point.
What was it?
In their defiance, I saw months more of pointless, bloody battle as we fought for the rest of the region. I had to break them. And I had to send a message to the rest of the villages.
Her hands shake as she raises them to cover her face.
So I nailed every last one of them to the trees around the town and left them there to die.
That's terrible.
Don't I know it?
She wipes at her face with the heel of her hand.
Anyway, we should get going.
She shoulders a pack and you glimpse something unusual in it. A thick roll of cloth bound by leather. What's that?
Something I've been saving for better days.
She tucks it away. I wanted to ask you about something. Tell me why you really became a gift bearer. I heard about the order from some missionaries while I was in the Living Lands. I heard Andrew's doctrine before, but the way they talked about the peace of forgetting, washing the old away with the tide, it sounded good. And the gift bearer's work, talking to the road, helping people ease their own burdens, that sounded good too. Kept hoping I'd find a way for me to lose my burden along the way. That's all for now. I don't think Amor lived forever. I think it is... No, it's not past life. I think she's just that old. Searing Falls. Which is interesting. She can fucking live with it. Well, we'll see. Hey, ass butt.
Seals. Me too.
Come on, man. Boy, it's weird doing this without a front line. Adair, I appreciate it, but please use something more useful.
Damn, missed. Damn. Quest.
Adair's gone. He's busy.
I shall end this.
Ah, damn it.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Good timing, Slam.
Quethe.
Poor Eyeless. So sleepy. Oop. Oh, there we go. Quest item. Road with Ted. Hey, Troogs. Troogs. Snarky Luxy. Jeez. Just because I make obvious mistakes that I've made several times before and should stop. Excuse me for having gigantic flaws that don't work on. It was a skull item. I want to know where. There it is. Magfolk skull. Spell stamina, unbending of might. Amazing. Hey Slam, we got you a new hat. It's +4 might. You're gonna have a skull in your head. That's terrible. Look at that. Just awful. Bits of steadiness. Why not? Wow. I think he had something else that gave him might. Of might to constitution on gloves. Can we give him something else now? Can be accurate. So we don't need the might. And I bet he's got constitution from something else. Nothing else. I know we now have a +con ring. Yeah, there you go. No, that's a neck. Oh, I'm not doing that. Okay. Good night, Maker. Sleep well. I wish I could hide the helmet. I just can't. That's probably better. Let's do that then. I think Grieving does not even have a helm, so we'll put something on her. Yeah, result perception. Why not, right? You look like a knight. So Isfin's not added. Ymirian legend holds that St. Ifin created a miraculous knot that the faithless could not untie. A daring burglary recently cleaned out the myriad precious relics in the Smith's Hall of Ymergal. Where each treasure once stood, a string was tied, each leading back to an intricate knot in the center of the temple. The burglar left a tantalizing clue in the form of a written prayer to St. Ifin, but the riddle has stumped the locals. Desperate to recover their artifacts, the priests have reached out to mercenaries and adventurers for help. Have some endurance! Because that'd be funny. Kana? Yeah, much more sensible. Too bad I'm sending Durance. I said it would be funny. And I mean it. One day, 20 hours. You see, I want to finish the riddle on the great sword that Adair's wielding. And then which will unbind it from his soul. And then bind it to Grieving Mother. I think she can have it. I'm not certain. And then give Adair back a fucking shield, maybe? The cool dragon shield? Did I look at Sword Walkthrough? I did. I cheated. Cheated. Terror of Whitestone Hollow. Go to Whitestone Hollow. Go to Whitestone Hollow. Go to Whitestone Hollow. Alright. Yeah, it's a neat puzzle. I don't think even the first time I played through I would have figured it out. I probably would have googled it. It's not bad. Good to see you, Troogs. Maybe I should play you some live mouth trumpet. I've been practicing. Not a lot, but a little. Oh yeah, Whitestone Hollow is a new map. Whoops. You think them swirly thingamybobs symbols mean anything? You're about to find out, buddy!
Got him!
To a trumpet cover of Dr. Worm. Who do you take me for? Am I able...
Just stay there. It's okay.
Indeed.
Poor Utamak stayed down a while. Oh man, Snow Bear.
You gotta see this.
You gotta see this trap that will kill us all. Quick, Eyeless, get back!
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Banner hurt. Go berserk and be aggressive.
Tell me.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Pick the lock. Excellent. Ooh. Ryan is best plate. Binds with monk, paladin, chanter. Recovery speed lots. 3 intellect. Literally. Oh my god, that's amazing. You know what we're gonna do? Put it directly on Slam Shadows. Who can't pick it up yet. Oh well. Hey, Slam. We got a really small inventory space, but boy do I like that there's no size limit on the stash. God, he's been wearing this pirate's armor, the deckhand's uniform, for most of the game. Do we ever gonna bind his soul? Travel to the Woodend Plains and defeat the Bleak Walkers. Okay.
Your will, Watcher.
Okay.
Still don't see why we had to hurt the dogs.
I don't know you even know who you are.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Stab. Hey, Trooks! You could catch up in the VODs, but I'm not sure you will. You missed me going through the fact that I spent a bit of time building an overlay, and now chat appears at the right-hand side. You can find it all the way over there.
Crow.
How cool is that? Beep.
Indeed.
What was that? Executioner's Hood. Coup de grace.
Right here.
What you wearing on your head, devil? Bloodthirst, freedom. Oh, damn. It's a shame the Executioner's Hood would suit you well. Guess it's manners then. Wait, what? Yeah, can you see your chat appearing? What is that? What? It's flex this big and it sits that way.
Your thoughts must flow deeply. Indeed.
I do that in just chatting scene so that you'd be able to actually see me flex, not just my face.
Indeed.
Oh, that. Yeah, that thing that all the other streamers have. Jimbles, you're not that fancy. I know that's not what you said. It's okay. I was to set up a noise gate that didn't work particularly well either. Oh, we found the blights.
Seal me.
Maybe.
Me too.
Let's try that again.
Maybe these are just irregular blights. But most importantly...
Let's try that again.
But most importantly, we finally removed the RTX sound so I sound normally. His glyphs seem similar to those in the battery, but they're too worn to make out.
Seal this. Me too.
Alright, now we've found the blight. Terror of Whitestone Hollow. Just enough time to summon some tentacles.
Ready.
Gotcha. Let's go. Settle. Wait. Seal this. Me too.
Tentacles, skeletons, skeletals, tentaclins. Caravan Master's brooch added to the stash. Lovely. Boots! Vitretto's formal footwear. 3 lore, carouse, and dexterity. Oh my god, that's amazing. Look at all this cool gear we're getting here. Also, you just got sturdy on your boots, Slam. Yeah, you've got sturdy on your boots, Slam. Slam, your boots, they're just sturdy. Replace them with something shinier. 3 lore, dexterity. Amazing. This guy is getting jacked up with cool stuff. Look at that. 21 intellect. These gave dex. 4 dex. We probably don't need to drop it all on him, but to be honest, I think it's pretty cool. Give him extra action speed, reflex. Why not make Slam Shadows amazing, huh?
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Who's wearing the horrible green swimming slime hat? Manaha. Executioner's hood.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
What seems like a half a mountain's worth of snow have tumbled down across the trade road, blocking further passage. Persian flame shield. This pale rough stone doesn't resemble any other formation in the area. Discovered a scorched barn.
Oh, look at here.
Embers still smoulder in these blackened ruins. Apart from a few flecks of soot, the supplies in this cart are untouched. That's what it's supposed to be. Costa! Hey guys, what you got? Go on then. Maybe we ought to go in and see. Go on then. It's bad days coming, I'm telling you. The pair look up at you as you approach. Who's that? Oh, begging your pardon, my lord. What happened here? We noticed some of Hattie's goats wandering loose. When they came up here, we saw some suspicious people leaving Hattie's house. Looks like they torched the barn. I think I know what's going on. Can guess, I bet. Got a lot of bandits up here. It's just a shame it happened to Hattie. Still don't think it's bandits. Hey, have a look. You'll know for certain. Oh, I hope that little girl's okay. It was not bandits. It was the opposite of bandits. It was spirits! For the benefit of Trugs, this is a small girl. What? Bleak oath. Fine, Milo. Hattie and his wife have been killed. The Bleak Walker is nowhere to be seen. The dead man's sprawled position gives you a clear view of the sword wound in his back. The smeared, drying blood around him has not yet faded to brown. Read his soul. You hear a groan, low and pained, and you turn your head to see there's a dull pain in your skull and your vision swims. A harsh grip on your arm bears you upright on your knees. We don't have anything worth stealing. Elwina's voice cuts through your sluggish thoughts. You look up at the armored man seated at the table, your stomach knotting up with dread. No, you don't. He reaches almost idly for the ledger. You notice before he does that the way Elwina tenses up, but you're not sure why until he opens the book and the letter falls out. Family? The man smiles as he picks up the letter. Yeah, let's do a brief recap. You're totally right. We started this quest a week ago. This was a jerk who made a contract with a wild drunk with a Bleak Walker, which is an intimidation and murder paladin. Amazing. He asked us to stop them from being murdered. I don't think you can avoid that. No! Elwina tries to run forward, only to get caught by the arm of the man behind her. Looks like Esky's doing well at the mill. Sweet of him to write. Difford's a long way from here. Enough, Keviston. Bleak Walker Paladin. Alright. He tosses the letter on the table with cruel amusement, swiftly replaced with irritation. Kill him. You barely have time to register the words. The sword through your back drives the air from your lungs and strength from your limbs all at once. Elwina's scream seems so faint. You have to get to her. You have to warn Eska somehow, but your legs won't listen. You can't breathe.
The memory slips from you like a shucked coat, and the pain in your back fades just as quickly. Find Esker. Oh, hi everyone. I'll be back in a second. Fire has died down to a handful of glowing embers. A bloody thumbprint marks where someone pulled away a piece of bread. There's a fine pistol underneath the pillowcase. Some camping supplies, which we don't need just yet. Might affects all damage and healing done by the character. The sausage flies past. The shallow reserves of water in this trough have frozen over. Hey, ice beetles. The thing for Eyeless to kill single-handedly was like... Hello?
This is getting no. This is getting.
Frost Ooze activates explosive death. There was a delay for gonna have to kill these shithead paladins because I had to allow the turn. That's all you get when it comes to word filters. This crude arrangement of antlers, bones, and sticks exudes a strong, fishy odor. Because I like, message was loud a solid couple of seconds before you looked over and said aloud. Yeah, okay. That's true. I wish there was a way for it to tell, like, when you're talking about another person in chat, or me, compared to, like, an NPC being a shithead, which is pretty legit. Fuck, that's a bigger fight than I expected. I have 7th level wizard spells. Actually, you're right. It was kill the shithead that was the turn. That's pretty good.
Sure.
There we go. There we go. This pale rough stone doesn't resemble any other formation area, except that one. Where Mark Homestead. No trespassing. Except if you're a paladin. Whitestone Lake. That's interesting. Let's go up here then. Maybe there's a cave over here we can find a little girl. I'm glad it does flag as well. Like, I just sincerely wish the one-click allow was a temporary, not permanent. Because that's the only thing that gets me. Because I'd much rather say, yeah, I'll let you say it this time under these circumstances. And that's what mods are for too. Excellent knockdown, very useful. I do love great Devil Karok's cackle. We are on we are on team cackling serial killer who yells for cold morn as in the same way that Adair yells for Aethys.
go. Oh, jeez, it's nearly 10. Wow, alright, time just flew past, didn't it? I bet everyone in the pods is like, no, I can see it ticking down the bottom. Very silly. Oh, little girl, I hope you're okay. Wicked. Oh, that's no good. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Big tongue, little tooth, Miller. Okay. Brief reminder, wicks are children who have had the souls of animal bound to their bodies because they were hollowborn. And the fox from the farmer did run and leap, oh, what he did to those poor little sheep. Despite the girl singing, the wicks around her are strangely calm. They scratch their claws in the dirt, bloodshot eyes half closed, while the girl sings and hums her song. Suddenly she looks up and notices you. She looks around the cave, as if hoping that you're here for someone else. I'm Miller, and these are my friends. She waves an arm towards the wicks and regards you with some concern. Did you come to play with us? The wicks look up at the worry in her voice, their pupils narrow to pinpricks. Your mother's looking for you. Miller flinches. Her face scrunches into a defiant little frown. The wicks notice a sudden movement and hiss. Big tongue! Willer's high-pitched voice cries at the nearest hissing wick. Be nice! She turns her attention back to you. I don't want to go back. She yells at me. I just want to play here with my friends. She makes a little mound of dirty snow. Big tongue and little tooth have names and the others don't. Assume they're the ones from the drawing. Yeah. Maybe. I'm going to go with always use skills, because we do a full vote and ask everyone, but it is coming close to time. Let's finish this dialogue at least. So let's go with our general term of always use stats and skills. Intellect. You like sweets? How about a Rauta cookie? Actually, we've got one. Let's just actually say it. Number 4. You like sweets? How about a Rauta cookie? A real Rauta cookie? I've heard of those. Miller's eyes are wide with wonder. Thank fuck I've actually got one in my inventory. Can I really have one? 3 and 4! Oh my god! 2, 3, and 4 are all examples of being dick to children for no reason. Alright, let's go 1. If I give you this cookie, will you go home to your mother? Miller nods silently. Now choose 3. Smile as you drop the cookie on the ground and slowly grind it into the ice with your boot. Give Miller the cookie. Miller approaches you and carefully takes the cookie into her tiny hands. Transfixed on the delicacy, she begins nibbling on the edges of it as she wordlessly shuffles towards the mouth of the cave. The wicks begin to follow her out, but as they leave the cave, they are distracted by the sights and sounds of animals in the wilderness. One by one, the wicks slink off into the underbrush to hunt. See you back in the village, mister! Night, Corey. And that's where we'll leave it, everybody. We'll save game with the save title of Not a Dick to Children. Save. Fantastic. They might be mad because we took their friend away. Yeah, that would suck. Sorry, Troogs, we didn't manage to crush the cookie. Alright, thank you very much for joining me, everybody. We'll finish up now at 10 o'clock. It's been great fun to have a good session tonight. And not only did we make a fabulous drink, but through efforts with everyone in the chat, and especially Corey, who did a campaign on my behalf, we hit 50 follows. So I'll start the approval process to see how hard or difficult it is to become a Twitch affiliate, and then they might even pay us money. But probably not. More likely, they're going to give us some emote slots. We're going to have some custom emotes that I will commission from an artist somewhere. So, thank you very much, everybody. I'll also make a clip of being dick to children, because it's funny, and we'll send that to Twitter as well. Maybe that'll help. We'll have more people to chat to, and more friends to make. Maybe even have polls. I will see you Wednesday night for Final Fantasy II continuation, and if it's about the same length as Final Fantasy I, we'll be finishing it, but I think it's longer. So, cheers everybody. We'll see you later. Good night.